And we are live. What's up, beasties? It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another episode of Beast Friends Forever. Woo! We have a fun afternoon show, uh, 2 in a row, everybody. So I'm keeping you on your toes. But we have an awesome guest today, somebody that I've been talking to through email, setting this up, and they are just fantastic. And they have a beautiful book that you can see right here over my shoulder that we're going to talk all about. But I'm so excited to have this guest on, and I can't wait for you guys to get to know them, hear about their book, and it's just going to be great. So without further ado, let me bring on my guest. Who's here? It's my friend Olivia Fraser.
Hi. Oh,
Hello.
thank you so much for having me. I am so touched. It was so flattering when you in our email, you invited me. I was like, oh, you invited me, so thank you so much. It was so
Of
flattering. It's like,
course.
really? Me?
I'm so glad that I could have you on, and that
Thank you.
this could be your first live interview thing,
Yeah,
like
yeah, it is
on the
my first.
channel.
So yeah, so thanks. So very excited. Yeah, so
Yeah, so first
yeah,
of many,
yeah, thank you,
I
thank
think
you.
so. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So how's your day going?
It's good. I'm actually learning to drive at the moment, so I had a driving lesson, so that went well, just
Oh,
building up confidence for that. I've got superb driving instructor, so yeah. And
nice.
it's funny, you were saying earlier that you have a child that's 8, she also has a son that's 8, so we were just talking about that,
Oh,
just saying,
nice.
and that, oh, every week, so like, did he go swimming? Yeah, he went swimming, so she wasn't, yeah, so, yeah, so yeah,
That's awesome. Yep.
yeah.
It's funny the connections that happen.
I
Sometimes
know,
thing,
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Well, and funny enough, my son, who is a sophomore, he is doing driver's ed and learning to drive too.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So I can commiserate with him, it's
Yeah.
just
So
like,
you
it
know how
is
that works.
exciting and it's just like learning one's confidence, like, yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Oh yeah. So how much longer do you have? How many more lessons do you
I've
have?
only I started the last week in January, so I'm very new, but I'm
Okay.
being good. I'm studying my theory every day because in Britain, I don't know if it's the same in America, but in Britain you've got to pass your theory and then you have a hazard warnings thing. So I do them every morning and when I
Oh
get up,
man,
have
you are
breakfast, I do them. So,
good for you. You've got a
because
good system. It sounds like.
yeah, I think because we all, my two sisters, we all love each other, support each other, but there can be, like, with siblings, any sort of
Oh
competitiveness. And
yeah.
my older sister always says, I got 100% on my theory test. It's like, right, okay then.
You got to
And
beat that now. You got to get
yeah, I know,
102.
exactly, exactly.
You
She
can't get a
she went in
99%.
cars, so I don't know where that came from.
Oh, that's funny. Well, kudos to you for doing that and being
Thank you,
focused. Because
thank you.
here,
Yeah.
they do have to do that, but the kids
Mm.
here and the adults here that take the test, they wait till the last minute to study for it. So good for you
Yeah.
for doing a little bit every day to be
Yeah,
prepared. That's
yeah,
good.
exactly.
Smart.
I don't know,
Um,
like, do you get Top Gear, like the old BBC Top Gear in America, or is that
yeah,
popular
yeah,
there? Yeah, because like now watching it now I sort of understand, like when they say the clutch pedal, it's like, oh, of course the clutch pedal,
yeah.
the gear stick. Whereas before, loved it before, now fully understanding. So it's like, oh, I see now what you mean.
Yeah. You're an expert now. You know everything
Oh,
about
thank
that.
you. I am enjoying. My mother says I'm enjoying your commentary. Like when we go down, I sort of
Oh
speak out
yeah.
loud because I find that helps when I'm starting driving. Like sort of say, "Oh, there's no one coming out the giveaway line. I got to pause." Then there's like other road users. So yeah, so I'm very much a chatterbox in the car.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's good. Sometimes doing that helps you like just it
It
helps you
does.
calm the
Yeah, it really
nerves.
does. Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Yep. As long
Yeah,
as some people if they're talking, it can distract them
yeah, yeah,
um in a bad way. But it
yeah,
sounds
yeah,
like for
yeah.
you, it's more in a good way where it
Yeah, it's
takes your
keeping
mind
me
off your
calm
nerves.
because it's like I want to drive. I'm excited, but I won't deny there aren't times where like, oh no, I don't know what to do in this situation. Oh no, like another road user. And I feel like, and there have been times where I've stalled the car and it's like, oh no. So yeah, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
good. It's a good journey. It's kind of like writing. It's one of those things you love it. There are downs. There are some days there are downs. Sometimes you're like, oh,
Oh
but
yeah.
you keep going because it's what you do. It's yeah, sort of like to be sort of corny part of you. Yeah, exactly. You gotta, and it gives you another sort of like part of your identity and part of like yeah, exactly. So I'm
Oh yeah.
blabbering on,
No,
please.
this is that you are the star of the show. No matter what you
Yes.
say,
Oh,
no
you
matter what
charming.
you talk about, you are not blabbering because
Yeah,
we're here to
that's
hear
kind
you
of you. Yeah,
talk.
yeah, yeah. And can I say I am so touched? Like it's so sweet. Like you got my book. Like it's just like it's so lovely. Like
Oh
when you
yeah.
all those years, and like, oh, someone's got it, like Chris has got it, like, oh, thank
I
you.
know, right? Well, and hopefully, I like to joke with people that
Yeah, yeah,
um, this is number 144 of these I've done.
yeah.
So I've done a
Oh
lot,
my
and
God.
I don't have a huge platform, but I've got
Yeah. Oh, you're growing.
a
You're
nice
growing. You
little,
got.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
like
You
to
got.
say that instead of shining a spotlight on authors, I shine a flashlight. But hopefully that
Yeah.
flashlight I shine on you helps get a
Oh,
little traction
oh,
going and people to
one
know about
hundred
you and your
percent.
book.
It's just so touching, and you've had some amazing guests on. Like, you've had the incredible writers of Discover Me. My God, they are phenomenal. I mean, that
Oh yeah.
audiobook. I'm profoundly dyslexic, so I'm dependent on audiobooks,
Hmm.
and that audiobook was amazing. So good, like the
Such a good
quality of
book.
that, and yeah, and the three of them, what a team. Yeah, I mean,
I
I
know
don't
they're
mean to be horribly sycophantic, but when you just read something, you think that's going to be a classic. That
oh yeah,
book, that book's
it,
just
it's
so sharp and so,
it
and
is so impressive for a debut book, and like
oh,
they're
amazing.
just such lovely people. I mean,
Oh, they are
that,
so kind, so
yeah,
nice.
I'm lucky enough. I moved from the state of Michigan to the state of North Carolina in the U.S. and
Yeah,
they I'm closer to them now, so I've actually gotten to hang out with them in person, and it's pretty
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
They're
that's really cool.
just as wholesome and kind as you think they are. They
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
So
Oh, that is
it's pretty
so
awesome.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty awesome stuff.
yeah.
All right, well, let's start off by talking about. Well, actually, here let me do something else first. Let me shout
Okay.
out somebody in the chat here. Flashlight operator 7 1. I think that's
All right.
good. Our good friend from the channel who was on before. But
Nice.
thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Whoa. Um, but everybody who's in the chat, if you have any questions for Olivia, be sure to put them in there and I will
Please.
ask.
Yeah.
And if you're somebody that just likes to hang out and listen, that's okay too. Everybody on
Absolutely.
replay,
Everyone's welcome. It's
that's
lovely to
right.
have, and thank you so much for coming. Please. Thank you.
Exactly. And if you're watching this on replay, if you're working and you can't do it now and you watch it later, we appreciate you as well. Be sure to check the
Absolutely.
description down below. I've got Olivia's book linked down there so that you can snag it after we get done
Oh, thank
talking.
you.
Because I
Thank
mean,
you.
look at this thing, people. Look at this cover. Look at it.
There is a story behind that cover, and I'll tell
Oh,
you in a bit. Like,
I
I mean,
can't wait to hear it. Like this cover is
yeah,
just gorgeous. I love
yeah.
it.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh,
So
thank you.
let's start off. Why don't you just tell us about generally about what you write and a little bit about like where you're at and what kind of fantasy your book is like inspired by.
I predominantly write Russian fantasy. And I just want to, just beforehand, just so that there's no future, I 100% Ukraine, but I'm a expert in Russia. Even I was hard for me to fully become fluent. I'm not fluent in Russian because I'm a dyslexic, but I'm comfortable in Russian. So I would, even though my area of sort of maybe more of expertise is Kievan Rus, which is the medieval history both of Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus, I'd still say predominantly I'm a Russian expert, not a Ukrainian expert, but full support to Zelensky. So just, but best because with the current
Yeah.
climate, just want
Oh
to
yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
but
Yep. I got
less serious issues. So yeah, so I do a lot of like Russian history, Russian folklore. I've got a book on Russian food, trying to get every little bit, got
Yep.
into Russian classical music. So predominantly that, but I also try to look at other areas. So for example, my armor in the book is based on Scythian armor.
Ooh.
I did at first think about having it more Kievan Rus, but I thought no, Scythian. Um, and I thought that would give a sort of better feel because ancestry Scythian with like there's ancestry in like parts of Ukraine, parts of Central Asia, and also because my world, I wanted to have an egalitarian world because I think that's quite great about fantasy is that you can have, say, men and women doing the same thing. Maybe a society where it's more male dominated, maybe more female dominated. But for me, want to have men and women both have the same rights, both can do what they want. So I thought the Scythians also worked well because there have been found archaeology of Scythian like female fighters. So I thought, great, also ties in very nicely. So yeah, and I do like my mounted archery. So there's a little bit in this, but subsequently. So yeah.
Oh man, there's so many cool things that you don't see
Thanks,
all the
thanks.
time in books. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. And I've even like tried to like take bits from like West Asia, like say Georgia or Armenian. I'm not an expert, more sort of an enthusiast. Like I try to get, because it's hard sometimes to get books, with information, because it's great having the internet, but sometimes you just want something more sort of fact based, or something that's like got like referenced exactly. But it can be hard
Mm-hmm.
to find information sort of so. And I do love Western Europe because that's my heritage. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
big fan of the Shakespeare plays, especially because when they were having the Olympics, they were showing like the Henry plays, and I've watched them to death. But I would say predominantly my fantasy is medieval Russian fantasy. That's me.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. So
I
yeah,
love it. Awesome.
thank
All
you,
right.
thank you.
So let's see. Operator 713 said they spent 3 weeks driving through the UK on their honeymoon. Boy,
Oh,
howdy,
wow.
was that an adventure?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's true. It's true. Oh,
uh,
well, yeah, I'd love to know
yeah,
what part they were in. Yeah.
yeah. Let us know what part you
Yeah,
drove
what part
to.
of the UK are you in? Yeah.
And they said beautiful cover. Who did it? So I
Oh,
guess
thank you.
let's start off talking about the cover. Um,
That is done by an amazing artist called Milan Ku, who is also a UK artist. She's based in England, whereas I'm based in Scotland. So we communicated. I know, it's stunning, so good. She did such an amazing job. Like each time she'd show me some content, I was like,
oh,
I didn't think it could. And each time it's just amazing. Yeah, so good. Yeah.
oh, it's beautiful. Did was this kind of this image and the look of the cover, was it what you were thinking from the
Well,
start, or was there a lot of back
here's
and
the
forth?
story about it. That cover came out last year, and the year before the book came out, and it had a different cover. It was a
Oh,
cover
okay.
I did, and it's awful. Like it was watercolors. It was just like my arrogance was like, oh, I can do that cover as well, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I did the synopsis. The synopsis was pretty last year, and somebody on YouTube was so kind to give me a bit of advice. It was Michael Kronk. I hope I pronounced his name. The
Oh
book
yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
If you have you had him on your
I have
show?
I've talked to him
You
about
guys
it,
should
but
you should have
yeah,
him
it
because
hasn't worked out yet, but we have talked
yeah,
about it.
exactly. He is such a nice guy,
Mhm.
and he gave advice. And he's saying it's just it doesn't look professional, and the nice, but it's not. It looks like you did. I had to admit it was myself, and he even said the synopsis is just not really working. So he was so right, and so looked around, found Mi Lang, who was so amazing. It was like electric when we were working together, so good, and she had these
Nice.
ideas because the original one did have the Firebird on, but it didn't have Vi Devig, who was that character, on it.
Mhm.
And we sort of went around, and then it just, each time she gave me something, it's just like, yeah, yeah. And then I worked on the synopsis with my editor, and we got it. Yeah. Because Michael was nice, because he said, like, well, what does I'm not getting a sense of what the journey is, what the character wants. So I do definitely feel that I'm still on my learning process as a writer, even in
Mhm.
a sense, because, with self-publishing, it's also about marketing.
Oh
So
yeah.
but but people are so kind, like yourself and Michael. Like it's really kind when people like give you feedback, because it's so lovely. People liking the cover, but also it's nice when somebody does, when people say, "Well, maybe try this," exactly, because we're
Yeah.
all learning, exactly. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Well, and I mean, you're like impossible to not be nice to. You're so nice.
So
So
sweet. I have my bad days, believe me. Like,
everybody
I'm sure
does,
if you
right?
were driving and I came out, you probably think, bloody learner driver. I remember there were times I was stalling the car, and I was one occasion day I biased and put the car into gear free. I'm not ready to go into gear free. I was like, the car's going so fast. Why is it going so fast? I don't know.
Oh man, that's
So, but
awesome.
fortunately, no one was killed. Everyone was
That
okay.
is good. That is good.
Yeah.
That's always a good
So,
drive.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I think this cover is just stunning. It's what I like to call a scroll stopper, where if you're
I
scrolling
love
through
it too.
books and you see this
Thank
one,
you.
you're gonna stop. It's a good
Yeah,
looking
thank
cover.
you. Thank you. No,
Um,
I'm so proud of it myself. Thank
yeah.
you.
So
Yeah.
everybody watching, we're gonna talk more about this book. But if you already are a cover by person like me, description down below, you can find the link to the book and go
Yeah.
snag your own. Look at
Thank
it.
you.
It's so beautiful.
Thank
All
you.
right. So why don't you now tell us a little bit about the book itself and the good
Right.
old author blurb word from the author
Okay.
herself.
Like the alphabet.
What's it
Well,
about?
the tagline is Planet of the Apes meets War and Peace. So,
Oh, I like that.
right. So we got our humans were fighting for our independence. We've been caged in the city, but our oppressors are also caged by their overlords, who are their sort of god figures, and the sort of jailers. So the of the oppressors for the humans are dog heads, and those are sort of real medieval beings that they thought existed. And I remember years ago I was watching a program on the BBC, and there was a academic who mentioned dog heads. I was like, dog heads, that's interesting. So from there, and I subsequently did thank that academic and I put him actually in the description saying thanking Professor Bartlett for mentioning the dog heads, because that's where it came from. Because I
Yeah.
didn't initially, when I wrote this book, wanted two groups of humans fighting each other, but you need an antagonist. So I
Mm.
thought dog heads, that. And because I have my magical group of people are based on the Japanese kitsune, so fox, so it's like foxes and dogs, that works. And then with dogs, and then with dogs, you've got things, because dogs, of course, man's best friend, but also dogs have been used as sort of like wolves. People have been scared of wolves, beautiful creatures, but and even with the police, so they can be used in a brutal fashion. So it's like playing with that. So, but when I was writing the book, I hadn't actually seen the original Planet of the Apes, and then subsequently, so I was like, oh my god, it's just Planet of the Apes and War and Peace.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
is.
pretty cool combination. I like
Thank you, thanks.
So, how did you come up with this idea? There's so much about it that's so, I feel like, so innovative, so creative.
Oh,
Um,
it's been a long process, like years. Like I think, like back, like let me start. I'll just roll the boat back completely back.
yeah,
When
yeah,
I
yeah.
was 18, I got an Audible account, and I got loads of Russian books, loads of like Dostoevsky books, and there was like one. It's the title keeps changing, like it's either called The Possessed or Demons or whatever, and it was about Russian political theory. Like you've got the 1840s generation and the 1870s generation, and that clash because it's like father and son, tutor and pupil. So it was like, oh, that's kind of interesting with that sort of theory. And then from there, I thought, I've always loved medieval history. I'm enjoying this 19th century history, but I want to go back and find out what they were doing in medieval past. And then I found an online version. The text is called the Primary Chronicle. I now have a book copy version, and like from reading there, and then I came across another site. It's called Sacred Text, which has got all these out of date like copies of like epics, and they had the Russian epic, which is called the Tale of the Armament of Igor, and I thought, and I really liked it. It was nice. I have to say, it was also quite nice. It was nice and short, because some of these episodes they go on and on. You're just like, I'm
Oh
enjoying it.
yeah.
I know that's rich coming from a fantasy writer. Like, what do you mean long? You guys go on forever.
Right, right. But they do
Max,
sometimes.
these books are massive. And then I ended up doing a master's at St Andrews on the Igor poem, and then I think it's just been built up and built up with work. So like a bit of Igor, and then there's this other poem. I can never pronounce the name, so I'm not even going to try it. Yeah, which is like kind of like the Igor, but it's essentially later. So just from there, bits, and then and I've always loved fantasy, big talking fan. So just thought, yeah, just connecting, each piece. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks.
That's pretty cool. I always love to hear how people come up with such
Yeah.
cool ideas.
Yeah.
Now, where does the bird the whole bird idea come
Right.
from?
Yeah. Now that was before I went to St Andrews. I was thinking about birds in relation to medieval manuscripts and like what they meant, and I was going to do something on that. But that didn't really work out. Like the academic I was thinking about being my supervisor, he was very nice, but he said, unfortunately, I would need to do something else to apply to the university he wanted to. So that's fine. So I went to St Andrews, and I actually think that worked out better doing the Igor poem, because I think in the long run. But I kept the what birds meant for later, so I would look it up in like medieval bestiaries, and then even like in Grimm's fairy tales, there was one about sorry, there's so many versions. Like
Okay.
which one? I'm having brain freeze here.
Yeah.
It was a free to no, it wasn't free to. It was about a baker, and I think the baker, because she didn't show kindness to, I can't remember if it's like to a poor person, so she got turned into a bird. And I just from different like connecting different birds and thinking, oh, that's interesting. So if that person was a baker and got turned into a bird, I could use that bird and say that could be their job, so like their crest. And
Oh
so
yeah. Okay.
associating different crafts with birds, and then different people, so different noble houses with birds. So sort of like that was my idea, and I have always loved birds. I mean, look, my whole family do. We even jokingly have nicknames like what each bird we are.
Really, that's awesome.
No, I know.
So it's got a little special flair to it, also
Yeah,
with your family. That's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah.
We got some more people popped in the chat. First, let me go
You.
up here. Operator 713, let us know where they went when they drove through UK. Says, let's see, Glasgow, Edinburgh. Ooh, the
Bruh.
World Science Fiction Convention. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It sounded like they had a busy time.
yeah. And that's so cool because I'm in Edinburgh. Like that's where I'm
Oh, well,
currently,
there you
and that's
go.
where I'm going. Just so that's amazing. Very
So
cool.
see, more connections, more
Yeah,
connections.
yeah.
Um, and then we've got more people that popped in. Grifkin here, another awesome YouTuber, booktuber.
Thank
I
you.
know, I know these. I actually, Olivia, I had one yesterday at 3:30 as well. So
Yeah, yeah. You
some
must be
people
really
aren't
tired. You
used
must
to
think,
these
oh, I
early
need a
ones.
moment.
So yeah, and Grifkin, this was actually supposed to be at 3, but because of my work, we had to push it back
Yeah,
to 3:30. So
yeah,
I know how it goes.
yeah, yeah.
But thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
E.L. Montague is also here, another awesome author who you'll see around the tubes. He's gives great advice as well.
Yeah, oh, thank you, thank you.
And he loves when I have people from outside the United States on, but the timing is always tough. So thanks for being here, E.L. Glad you could make it.
Oh, definitely.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Oh, here we go. Grifkin wants uh, you to tell us how to pronounce. Is it just Edinburgh? Edinburgh? How do you say it?
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. See, I always say it
You
wrong.
got it. You got
Yeah. Now I got it.
it.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Yeah.
Edinburgh.
Perfect. Spot on.
Okay, that sounds way cooler than how I was saying it. Thank you, Grifkin. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think Griffin had a cute picture with his dog. So, very,
Oh yeah,
very.
he does. He does. Let me see. It shows up a little bit, I think. Yeah, there we go. He does
Oh,
have a cute
cutie.
little dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you, as people could see in the thumbnail, what they clicked
Love the
on.
thumbnail. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
you're
it. That was so
welcome.
kind. I was like, oh, thank you, Chris.
So you had a special friend, your dog, in there. Tell us
I
about your
do.
dog.
She's actually here. Here,
Oh, nice.
My Stella, my star.
Yeah, Stella. Nice, nice. She's
Yeah.
so good, so quiet back there. I didn't even know
Oh,
she was
thank
there.
you. She's got a little bone. She's sort of happily
Oh,
chewing
she's
that.
she's in heaven right
Believe
now
me,
then.
if it was earlier, she'd probably be barking because she's a very she's actually quite a nervous dog in some respects, but in her own house because I think she feels like she loves her humans and protect her. She barks and barks. We're like, what are you barking at? There's nobody there, or it's just like it's just the nice postman or woman. Like they're not. And so it's like, oh, I'm defending my house exactly.
Oh
Um,
man, that's right. She's
interest.
she's
Yeah,
protecting things.
exactly. Don't you have a dog?
Yeah, I have two dogs and
Oh,
three cats
nice.
because.
Oh, cats. Oh,
Oh yeah,
lovely.
my
Yeah.
wife's a cat person. I'm a dog person, so of course we had to have both.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. I was mostly a cat person for most of my life. We didn't have a dog for years. And then for one of my mother's birthdays, we got Stella, and my mother loves to tell the story. And I said to the cat, I said to the lady who, where Stella came from, I'm like, I'm really a cat person, but, and I was like, unfortunately, she still let us have Stella. I just like, when I saw little Stella, I just like, oh, my heart melted. She's
Oh,
so
it's a
cute.
cute dog. Cute
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, so cute. But I do still love cats, and I also have to admit I'm a horse lover as well. I
Oh,
don't have one because they are so expensive, but
oh yeah,
I
they
do love
are.
them.
Yeah.
I'm a horse mad.
Oh yeah, horses are awesome. I had a my aunt. She owned she owned horses and did all sorts of stuff with them. Took them to shows and everything. And she had like oh my gosh, why, like, I guess a ranch. I don't know if that's really what you
Yeah,
call them,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
but she had a bunch of horses, and I would go down in the summer as a kid before I was old enough to get like a normal job. I would go down in the summer and help like clean stalls and take care of the
Oh
horses, and
wow.
it was cool. So I mean,
Yeah.
they're just beautiful animals. So
Oh, they
so
are
I,
just
I'm with you
incredible.
there. I love horses.
Yeah, they're just incredible. Like, and when you're riding, when like it's going so well, it's just like the most incredible feeling. Like driving's fun, but when you get a good canter, there's nothing like a good canter. It's like
Oh
if
yeah.
I must drive, but if I
Oh, so
could rent a
you should
horse,
just go old school and get a horse that can
I
be like
know
your
if
car and
only, if
just
only
just
exactly.
ride gallop everywhere you go instead
That
of
would be
driving.
incredible. That would be amazing. Unfortunately, Britain is not really conducive to
Right?
that.
It's not
So,
conducive to that. I don't
no,
think I don't think anywhere is anymore,
I know.
unfortunately.
Apart from if I
You
went
need
to
a time
Mongolia,
machine. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's true. There are,
if
there
I
are
went
some
there
places.
and they're like, that would be incredible.
That's true. That's true. Um, Grifkins had said that your dog wants you to know that nobody's there because they're barking, because they're
Very
so
good.
tough.
That's true. Oh, that is
I
so
think that's
apt.
true. All right. So this is, it says right under the title, book one. So are you planning to write more books? Is this going to be like
I
a
am.
trilogy, a
Yeah, I am.
series? What are you thinking?
I've got. Let me think. I have got book two. It's not finished yet. It's in this draft form, uh, and I have got what would be book three. But I've also got a prequel book.
Oh, wow.
Again, not really finished. And I'm also working on a. It will be in the same universe, but a standalone thing. Just trying to see if I can, because I usually do big ensemble casts, so trying to make it with this one a little bit tighter, maybe have just five
Wow.
characters, just
Okay.
a little bit smaller, but just it's a good sort of writing challenge. Just so got some projects in the works. So, but yeah,
Very cool. That's
yeah,
awesome.
thank
So,
you.
so see people, now's the time to jump on and
I know
get it on this
exactly,
book.
and then they'll say, "Where
Lot
is it?"
coming. Yeah. They'll be
And
like,
I'll
hey,
be
you
just,
were
"I'm just
working on all those things.
driving home."
It's
That's my
coming. It's
excuse
coming.
for not writing. It's like I'm busy driving.
Yeah, you got to get that. Is it just called a driver's license there too, or is it
Yeah,
called
yeah, just
something
a
else?
driver's license. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. We got two parts, like, theory test and then booking your test. I mean, I'm nowhere near to sit my exam, but at the moment, booking your test is a nightmare in Britain. Like there's got such backlog. But my instructor
Oh
told me they
yeah.
are trying to fix that. So when I'm ready, which will, they
I
should, be
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
it's like that some places here too. Where I lived before in Michigan, it was nice. I used to think it sucked there because it'd be so busy, but I could go
Yeah.
online and pick a time, and then I just
Oh,
show
yeah.
up, and maybe I have to wait 10 minutes, but then I get in. Well, in North
Yeah.
Carolina, where I live now, they don't have any kind of pre-scheduling system. It's just walk in, but then you sit there for 7 or 8 hours. They have a terrible system here, so
Oh,
they're
no.
also trying to work on it and figure it out.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
"Ugh, I got to take my son to
I
get
know. Yeah.
his stuff soon, and I'm not looking forward to it. But
Yeah.
what do you do? You got
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. So have you taken, he started to practice driving with you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
Well,
God.
and
How's it
actually,
going?
pretty good. He's actually been
Good.
driving a little bit because he went through the whole first part to get his permit in
Yeah.
Michigan, and then we moved down here and thought he could just take the second part and be done.
Yeah.
But they didn't honor the class of work he did and stuff in Michigan and
Sorry
made him
about
start
that.
all
Yeah.
over. So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
just finished it for the second time, and
Yeah.
now we're driving and stuff. And yeah, I mean, anytime somebody's a new driver, they do some things, but I mean, I feel
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
safe. I don't feel like I'm like on the edge of my seat, so I feel like he's doing
Yeah.
pretty good.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. I bet he's great. Yeah.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
he takes a little bit wide of turns. It makes me
We all
nervous, and
do.
sometimes he doesn't like to be too close to the center lane. So
I
if there's
can
like a
relate to
ditch
that.
or
Sometimes
something,
you're like,
yeah,
oh, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. You
he
feel like
gets
you're
too
hogging it.
far
Yeah.
over. I'm like, you're going off the road. Just go back
Yeah.
that way a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
it is
gave
how it
him.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to speak over you. It's so
No,
nice
no,
chatting with you. And I'm
yeah,
just
no,
like,
you go
yeah.
ahead. You're the star of the show. I know how it
Oh,
goes.
sweet of you.
When
Yeah.
you're in
The
these
star of the show that
things.
has no manners. Yeah.
No, no, I love it because sometimes, oh my goodness, sorry, my dog's like freaking out out there.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, he's about to throw up. I think. Lovely, right in front of me. I got a
They always
full
do it in
view.
an inconvenient time. Yeah. Yeah.
But I was gonna say, oh
Yeah.
gosh, now my mind went blank. What were we talking
Yeah.
about?
I were driving, exactly. Sorry, this is not a fantasy talk. This is a driving talk now.
Yeah,
This is just
yeah, yeah.
happens to be, enthusiastic fantasy fans, but we're really just going to talk about driving today.
Oh, I was saying that I love how talkative you are. So if you talk over me, it's completely fine. Because
Yeah.
as a someone who's doing an interview, there's nothing
Yeah.
better than somebody that you can just ask a question and they'll just talk, and you don't have
Or
to
in
worry about
tantrums, in my case. Yeah.
pulling teeth to get them. Hey, that's okay. That's fun. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I gave my mother a fright a couple of weeks ago because I'd only had about 6 lessons, and I was like, oh, we could go to the park, and there's a park and drive place, and I could practice. She's like, bless her. She's like, oh, yeah. And she told one of her dog walking friends, and he was like, like maybe not, exactly. I'm getting a little bit too ambitious. And bless my driving search, there was one bit where, oh, that car's far away, I could go, and the driver like held back, like maybe not, because you have stalled the car, it's going well, let's keep it on a high, let's not have a sort of, yeah, exactly. Sometimes best just to hold back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's gonna happen. That's gonna
Yeah,
happen
exactly.
sometime.
One day I'll fly through. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
you
At the
will.
moment, like, exactly.
Well, and it's all about like repetition, right? Eventually,
Yeah,
it becomes
exactly.
the norm, and
Constantly doing it.
it
That's the
doesn't
way.
feel
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
odd for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, let's see. Grifkin had said, "Gotta love those UK streets, two-way roads the size of an American bike
I know,
lane."
I
I think
know, I know. It's true. Like when
tiny little lanes there, huh?
no, I know it's true. Yeah, there are times where, like, my driving instructor, I used to say, "Oh, you're fine to go. You keep on going," and it's just like sometimes it doesn't feel there's enough space between
Oh
with two
yeah, for
cars.
sure.
You have other parked vehicles, but amazingly sometimes there is. It's like, wow, we can two of us can match the same road. Yeah.
That's
It's an
true.
experience. Yeah, every American should come and drive in Britain, and then, yeah,
Everybody should experience sometime, huh?
yeah, exactly, exactly. And then every British person should experience driving in America. And then I've never been to America, but what I assume, like, you've got big roads. It's like, wow, the space.
Oh yeah, right. There's room for my whole car in here.
Exactly. How can this be? No.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Well, hopefully soon this book takes off, and then you'll have to come
Yeah,
to the
thank
U.S.
you.
to do some touring.
Me and my mother are actually going on a holiday to America. We're going to go to Chicago, so really excited
Oh,
about that.
nice. Very
Yeah.
cool. Chicago's a very fun spot to go.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Yeah, it looks
Oh, that's
just amazing.
exciting.
Yeah,
When are
yeah.
you going to do that?
I haven't booked it yet, but I think probably maybe late spring, maybe summer. Just nice
Nice.
weather. Exactly. Going to
Oh
look at like
yeah, yeah.
Frank
Yeah,
Lloyd
you don't
Wright
want to come when
buildings.
it's all
I can't.
cold and
Yeah,
snowy right
yeah,
now.
exactly. We get enough of that in the UK. It's just
Yeah,
like good.
right. Yeah, you don't need to see that.
Yeah, especially
Um,
in Scotland. Exactly, where it
oh yeah.
rains.
Yeah, there. Griffin's heading to Scotland this year. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
make sure he's the one driving.
Yeah,
That's cool.
exactly.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk
Yeah, yeah.
about.
Oh, I like
Um,
that. I like that metaphor. I
oh
like
yeah,
the gears
exactly. It works
metaphor.
out good. It works good
You're
today,
keeping
huh?
it cars. Yeah.
That's right. Keep it on the cars. So let's talk about your journey to becoming a writer a little bit. So take us back
Yeah.
to when you were
Okay.
just a little wee Olivia, and
A little. Okay.
tell us about what kind of books or other media got you into
Yeah.
fantasy
Well,
and reading and all that stuff. And
yeah.
I think it's pretty awesome that you've been able to do what you've done with being dyslexic. You said,
Thank you.
which is pretty
Thank you.
awesome. So
Yeah.
just tell us a little bit about that journey and when you decided to go for it and just write the book.
Right. Well, I think what got me into fantasy was when I was 6 years old and they were first broadcasting Sam Neill's Merlin. Have you ever seen it? And if not, you must watch it. It's incredible. And that just grabbed me. And I remember still, before it was broadcast, the advertisement for it, and it was on a channel which we'd have called Channel 4. And I remember at the end the big logo, and I do remember specifically watching the first episode and cutting to credits, and I had the video and I watched that throughout childhood. So I think that was a hook. And also, my middle name is Susan, and it was because my elder sister was a big fan of the Narnia, the BBC series.
Oh
So
yeah,
she called me Susan after that. So it's fate. So
that's
I'd
cool.
say that. And then I didn't, when I was a child, I listened to the BBC adaptations of The Lord of the Rings, which was good, but was also a mistake because I unfairly went into the amazing Peter Jackson movies and expected them to be like the adaptations because I knew no better. I was a dumb kid, so I thought they'd be like the BBC version. Like they're not the same. What is going on? And idiot kid that I was. And then subsequently later read the full version. Then appreciated the Peter Jackson's best movies ever made. Like just so many iconic moments. And Eowyn is my favorite fantasy character of all time. Love her. Um, and then did read George R. R. Martin, and that's great as well. So sharp, and seeing the direction we can get fantasy, and and I've listened to a lot of Brendan Sanderson's lectures, read his stuff. Again, we're so lucky at the moment. We've got so many
Oh
great
yeah.
writers, really sharp, like new voices. What Brendan's doing, which is fantasy, but also I mean. I'm not familiar with Dune, but I know that he's inspired by Dune, so getting that flavor. Whereas someone like Professor Chase is maybe doing more classical fantasy, maybe
Mhm.
harking back to the Wheel of Time. It's so great now. You've got such a variety. I think it just shows how strong this genre is. Whereas it seemed to be in the last century that people thought, oh, fantasy, it's not. we can't. Science fiction is we can discuss more, complex ideas or have various worlds, but actually we're showing no, we can do that with fantasy. So it's really exciting at the moment.
Oh yeah.
And I think, let me think. So that initial thing. So for my go-to fantasy, definitely Sam Neill's Merlin and Lord of the Rings. Completely.
Oh yeah.
That's me. That's me. Which is funny because I write Russian fantasy, but
Right, right.
I know I wrote the polar opposite. I wrote like from the other side of the world. But I think what originally started this book was actually when I was 18 and reading those Russian books. I was originally thinking about, maybe I was kind of inspired by the 19th century Russian books. And so it started off as a sort of almost 19th century, and then it changed. And then the more I got in, for more like, I like fantasy and I like the freedom that fantasy gives you. I like that you can craft any society you want. You can, magic's fun, that's great, but also just the finite bits, like even with the religion, you can dictate. You don't have to have elements that say you don't want in it. You can, and even like things like with the dress or sorry, why does the brain go blank? I can sort of see it in my head. I just,
It happens sometimes.
yeah, I know. My
Yeah.
brain freezes. I
It'll,
think it
it'll,
also
it'll come back to you
stimulated by
if
your
you can't remember it.
amazing book collection. It's like, wow, like every book. Have you got every fantasy book known to man in that collection? Yeah,
Uh,
no, I just like the freedom of fantasy. I love history, but history for me is like fodder. Fantasy is the freedom. Like that's what I want. I want to be able to not feel restricted. Think I could write whatever I want. And the same thing I could write, and then I can have aspects that I don't want to put. Like for example, like I don't have any scenes of like explicit. I don't have any scenes of like sexual violence or anything. Or I'm not trying. I'm not explicit with violence. So things that don't interest me or I find I don't have to incorporate. Whereas if I was writing something historical, you have to include all the bits that you find unpleasant because you're telling, it's as a historian, it's your duty to tell the truth. So I think that's what's great about fantasy, that you can have what you want. Yeah,
there you go. I
yeah,
like it. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Um, we just had somebody pop in here. Latomi is
Hey,
here, and they had
hello.
a question. They asked, "What you think of? Is it Chifosky?"
Dostoevsky.
Oh gosh, I can't say anything right.
Oh, do not worry. They're really hard. Fyodor Mikhailovich Dostoevsky. I hope I got his patronymic right. Otherwise,
Oh,
they'll,
that is
they'll say,
great.
you're a
Nice
fake
job.
fan of Russia. Yeah, what do I think of his book? I love those books. Yeah, those were definitely like big inspiration. Like, just think, wow. Yeah, like, and even though I think like Crime and Punishment or Brothers Karamazov are more superior than The Devil's Oath Possessed, for some reason that book just got me, and it just made me sort of interested in writing and just like and there was another book I was reading at the time. It's by a Polish writer Joseph Conrad, but it was similar because it was all about revolutionaries in Russia, like very political. Yeah, exactly. So I think, and because it was also talking about political movements in Russia, like for example the assassination of Tsar Alexander II, and then the Decembrists, which was a revolution in like after the Napoleonic War. So it was like, well, that's kind of interesting. So you know, and even though I think my book is like the beginning of a society rather, so it's not ready for like, because it's not yet got any sort of political upheaval in the Society of the Humans, the Society of the Devich yet, but there's like sometimes rumblings. So yeah, right,
Nice.
yes. Sorry, I just could ramble
No,
on. Yeah,
you answered their question good. So there you
thank
go.
you, thank you.
That's good. Um, Mark Kleinexel, one of my good supporters, is here. What's up, Mark? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. All right. So let's when you were writing the book, I'm always
Yeah,
curious. I always wonder for
yeah.
authors, did you ever consider doing trying to get the book traditionally
I
published? Or
did, I did. Believe me, I tried. Like, I still live in hope. Like, I mean, I know that sounds traitorous to self-publishing, and like,
no, no. I think
well, it's a hard
everybody
life.
gets
I mean,
that.
it's a hard life being self-published. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah. I think it's also a constant learning process because you're thinking, right, how to market, and I don't think I'm naturally strong at marketing. I think it's a constant learning thing. So, like the pitch lists I sent off, and also I think you've also got to learn that even if you don't get a response, it's not that people necessarily. I know it just doesn't appeal for some people, and everyone's got the right to say no. And if sometimes if people just don't reply, it's because people are busy. I mean, as you know, you got 101 things. It's not just necessarily like, oh,
Right.
people are being so rude. Yeah, exactly. So I think it is one of those things that you do learn. It's tough, but also people are incredibly kind, like yourself, like Michael, like I mean Caleb, but Caleb likes books, and Josh over at Overrated Books have been
Yeah.
so kind. The guys who wrote Discovery, John, Amy, and Jacob, were so nice reading. But Matt over at Matt's Fantasy. But people are lovely, and I think you got to find ways to sort of show your books. So, like for example, sending it to book halls, sending it to
Yeah.
people like yourself, other people. Yeah, I think it's just constantly thinking, right, what can I do to help the book, and sometimes just having to learn patience, and that is hard because when you do feel proud and you feel like, oh, I really
Oh
deserve
yeah.
this chance,
Yeah.
but sometimes you just, it's a hard thing to learn. Like
Yeah.
driving. Yeah,
There
everything
you go.
relates back to driving.
It's
But sorry, guys, there's no cars in the book, and there won't be. I haven't got under that level yet.
they're not. They haven't
Brendan's going to
advanced
lead
to
us
that
first. Brendan's
technology
going to
yet.
get to the technological level. I think, he's brilliantly planned it, for like, what is it, the beginning of time, and then we'll get to the technological level. King Brendan's going to be there first.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, well, I think that you're doing it the right way, and you're right. Like sometimes that can be tough. You work on a book so long, you put
Yeah,
deep into it, and then it's out there, and then all of a sudden you realize, okay, now it's going to be a long journey with the marketing and the
it is.
promoting and
Yeah, yeah,
trying to
definitely.
get it out there and get it traction. So
Yeah,
it can be
yeah.
daunting. So I think any probably 99% of self-published authors would still love their book to get traditionally
Well,
published.
I mean, that would be like the dream. That would be perfect. Like
Yeah,
if someone said what, like if Genie or whatever, what would like make like that would be that because everything is like you were like I wouldn't ask the Genie for the driver license. That I got to get on my own. That's but that would be amazing. But I still live in hope, and I even did arrogantly when the book was already send it to a publishing house. Never heard back, but that's fine. But all I take away is that I'm glad I did that.
yeah,
It's a bit
yeah,
like I've sent it to some other people, I haven't heard back, but then there could be a million reasons and that doesn't mean that's finished. But I'm
right,
still glad I did. And it's the same thing with agents. I'm glad I tried. I'm gonna try again because that's a goal. And
yeah,
then just, and try with the self-published, see if what works and just, wait and see. And the thing is I sometimes even like, sometimes it can be slow, but people have got so many things, and also sometimes you just don't feel like reading. I know that myself. Like I'm working, like on a writing or whatever, and sometimes you feel like I just don't feel like reading. I just feel like almost
hmm
like listening to someone. I have to admit I've never played a Zelda game or Elder Scrolls, but I do enjoy listening to people talk about them.
yeah,
So sometimes you just feel like that, or like a bit of music.
yeah.
You're just like, no, I can't read today.
Yep, yep. Sometimes you just want to turn your brain off and do other
Yeah,
things. Yeah, and
yeah,
let
exactly. Yeah.
let the entertainment come flow into you, and you don't have
Exactly.
to do
Yeah,
anything
exactly.
to
Sometimes you
receive it.
just need a bit of yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. That's yeah.
Yeah.
That's with
Yeah.
anything. Yep, I get it.
And
Um.
as because like you're busy with your family, sometimes like with the you got to spend time with the people you love.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
And you got to walk the dog as well.
Yes, yes. You got to take care of the pets, the
Yeah,
people,
exactly.
all the
Got to
things.
exercise yourself. Exactly.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got to
take care of yourself, and then, yeah,
yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
when you do have that time, you think, "Oh, I can't wait to have some downtime to read or
Yeah,
write or do this," and then you
yeah,
get that
yeah.
time and you're like, "Ugh, I just don't wanna
I am
do anything."
exhausted. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep, that's how it goes. So, speaking of finding time to write and all that, that leads me to my next question, but before we get into
Yeah.
that, someone had a question in here.
Yeah.
Operator 713 said, "Would you compare and contrast the tone of your book with the typical tone of Russian literature? Is it a huge downer to read, or does it depart from the depression of
I think
classical?"
it's more of a glorification. I think it's more like if it's more with Igor, like because Igor, it's like we're defending the mother, like we're defending Rus. We're going out exactly. And even though he gets captured, and then but we did get the Igor poem got turned into this beautiful opera by this composer called Borodin. And so if you got time and you like some opera, listen to it. It's
Okay,
really good.
very nice.
But even still, it's like, and then he escapes, and it's the sort of the glory of Rus, and being brave, and so I think it's more similar to that rather than the crushingness of sort of that you get with sort of Dostoevsky, where this, the state and what it means to be Russian, and just the sort of almost poverty of life. So I think you got to let me. a few more centuries on, and let's see if, like, then we'll see how this book. But I think at the moment they're in a high because they're defending they're defending their new land. They're excited about that, and then I think once they're established in peace, then you can have a little bit more cynicism, like, like, well, what does it mean? Like, what does our society mean? Like, and people, the sort of some negative people in our society, everything's not so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but but please, it's one of those things, like, I look forward to hear what somebody else would say, like, how Russian is it? It's one of those things, like, I'd love to hear someone say, like, how Russian is it, or like, yeah, yeah, like, on a
Oh,
scale, like, how, yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. On a scale of 1 to 10, how Russian do you think that might
Yeah,
look
exactly. Is it too generous? Like, oh no, it's a depressing Russian, but go with this.
like? Right, yeah.
Or this isn't Russian at all. This has just got some paintwork on it. What is this? It's masquerading.
Right? This isn't it. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
exactly. What's going on here?
We also had B.A. Turner just pop in here. What's up? Thanks for
Hey,
being here. Another
thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
All right. So, speaking of when you're talking about finding time to do things,
Yeah,
I have some questions about your process. So, the
please.
first question I have is when you are writing, you've got the spectrum of writer. You've got
Yeah.
pantser, someone who just sits down, writes by the seat of their pants, doesn't plot anything out. Then you have the other way, like hardcore, outlines everything. They have a novel of outlines they stick to. Then you have everywhere in the middle. Where would you say you kind of fall on
I,
that
at the
spectrum?
moment, I think I am very much an outliner. I think when
Okay.
I started it, I was more pencil because I was finding what I
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
But I did, because I think, my mother teaches art history and history, so I think she instilled in me about, like, being an academic, study. So I did have my notes, and then so I had maybe the beginnings of being an outliner, but very much an outliner. And with this new book, one like, so outlined, like everything. Like, I even did the 5 watts with this new thing. Which I usually, like, it's like, oh, I'll just start. Like, I'll write the date so that people know what date it's, like, no,
Oh
like,
yeah.
let's, um, really try, like, that, now everything has to be the exciting hook. It's like, that's really hard. Like, because, it, and you are all, as a writer or as a reader, what you get excited about. But it's
Hmm.
like, and then you think, oh God, is someone going to find this really boring? Exactly. It's just like, right. And what details enough do I have? Or what people say, enough of the details, get on with it. And there's one word that I felt like, oh, I'll have to explain that. So I highlighted it, and I'll explain it later. Like, because otherwise it would be like, oh, stop, readers, like, I got to explain this word. So it's like, but I'd say I'm very much an outliner. I think I like, I am a bit of an overly organized person, so I do like this structure. Like, like, I know exactly what I'm going to do in the morning. You know.
Okay, so you're a creature of habit then.
Yeah, yeah,
That can be
exactly.
helpful with writing then. So
Yeah.
do you write like at the same time every day? Or
Um, I'd say so, yeah. Like, I write, like, let's see, if I get up at 6, exercise is at sort of 7. Um, I'm dyspraxic also, so I need to do exercise because, like, I haven't been able to ride at the moment for various reasons, but I can't ride if I don't exercise because being dyspraxic, it's very difficult to get a sense of balance and sort of
Mhm.
space. So that's helped me. Also, it is nice to build muscles. You can't deny that.
No, that's always a good thing. Always a
I
good.
know it's one of those things when you start, it's like, oh, I could go on this forever. This is great. Yeah. It is the most empowering thing. It does make one feel realistic. Like, I could take on anything. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But I'd say like from sort of late 8. It depends, like, if I've got some meal prep to do, because I do the cooking. So my mother knows what we're having because I've already organized the menu. So yeah, very
Nice.
dictatorial. That poor woman, like, has to live with me. Like, we're having this. Fortunately, she likes my cooking, so
I would
it's not
say
like,
she probably
oh,
likes it. She probably likes knowing what it's like being
yeah,
having a
yeah, she
menu to
does.
a
Yeah,
restaurant. She knows,
yeah,
ooh,
yeah,
tonight is this. That's
yeah,
good.
exactly. So I'd say it's probably late 8 into 9. Yeah, from there, exactly. And then, it's just one of those things, like, every day's a new adventure, like, how far you can work. And also, I didn't, although thank God for me doing the cover, the drawings inside are all done by me. So sometimes I wouldn't just be writing, sometimes I draw. So, like, from, like, let's say late 8 or 9, there are drawings, and the black and white drawings are all me.
Yeah, I wanted to try to show. I'm glad you said that. I almost forgot. I wanted to show people,
Because
and
I
I
remember
think you're a very
Josh was asking
I think you're
when
a very
he,
good artist too, by the
Oh,
way.
thank you. That's very sweet of you. Thank you.
Let me
There were
find
more
that.
drawings, but they ended up getting cut, because it could go on forever. Because when I first brought out that book, it was a brick. Like the appendices was so long.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it needed to be trimmed.
Oh, it's
I
yeah.
got
I mean,
really carried away.
I'll just show a few. I don't know how great it's going to show up on my camera here, but so there's one right there. I feel like it like has such a good vibe. It really captures like fits
Thank
in with the
you.
book really well, I think.
Thank
So I'm
you.
glad that you did that because we love that kind of stuff as fantasy
Oh,
readers.
that is just music to my ears that you love it. Like,
So
thank you, thank
I
you.
mean, look at that, guys. That's so cool. There, and it's not like most fantasy books that have some illustrations. There's
Yeah.
like maybe one or two here or there. Like you got them with throughout the whole book, and I think that's so
Yeah,
cool.
thank you.
I love
And
it.
there were more, but like, it's what does come to a limit. Also, the problem was sometimes they didn't show up so well, so I had more
Oh
architectural
yeah,
drawings, and sometimes they
right,
just didn't come up so well. But I think because I'm lucky because I can draw, and I'm also a writer, so I can do it. Whereas most writers, like you're a writer, like so you got to, and then you've got to pay somebody, and that's
right.
very
Then you got to
expensive,
find
and it's
something.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
And a lot of times, the maybe the cover artist is a little more expensive, so you don't want to
Yeah,
hire them to do a bunch of interior artwork. So then you hire someone else
exactly.
to do
Because
interior.
yeah,
Now you've got
exactly.
multiple people. I know.
Yeah,
So it's nice if you can do any of it,
yeah, yeah,
double up on anything. It's
yeah,
helpful.
yeah,
So that's good. And
yeah.
like I said, I think that adds a lot to the book, and I think it fits
Thank
really
you.
nicely with it. So I think
Thank
that's a cool
you.
touch.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
you might someday when the book is huge and you make a
Too
special
bad.
edition, you'll have to include the original cover in the
Oh
special
God,
edition,
I
just
could
as a
show you
fun
the original
fun
cover.
thing for
I have
everybody.
got it, but like, I mean, like, I have got it over here, like in
Oh,
one of my old books. Yeah, exactly.
okay. Well, I would love to see it, but if you can show
Right,
it to me
I will
after it.
show you it because you've been such a gentleman to you. You've been so lovely. Sorry, it's very unprofessional. I'm just going to go over there
Oh
and get
no,
it. I'll
no
just
problem, no problem.
so here I'm back. So this, when it used to be a brick. Sorry, my camera is so bad because it's just my computer, so it's not going to be able to see.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, it used to be. Sorry,
Oh,
and
okay. I can
yeah,
see.
and
Move it
sorry.
a little bit that way. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know
Oh
if
yeah.
you can.
I
Yeah,
I can't tell.
yeah, and then yeah, thank you,
I can kind of see it, but I mean, the color
and then
palette and
it used
stuff
to be
looks
slimmer,
cool.
but it's still like with the old cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's I mean, it looks cool, I think. But yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
sweet of you.
but
No, this one is too
this
much
other
better.
cover you got, I get it. It
Yeah,
does
yeah,
stand out, and it's gonna
exactly. Yeah,
capture
yeah,
people's attention.
yeah.
So that's good. But
If
that's cool. That's cool that you
yeah,
still have that too. That you have it
yeah.
to remember.
Well, they're very useful because like for example, the new one has got like two new chapters, and then there's been things that have been cut. So I do find that when I'm writing, I need the copy of the book. So I've gone through them and annotated mainly because it's like they're notes for me. So for example, like with some of it, like with one of them had a bigger appendices. So if I want to check this, and again, like with mine, with the new one, it's also like for example, like with bits of like when I talk about the history. So I know where it is, so that I can check what I've written, so that I don't
Oh yeah,
contradict myself. Yeah.
very cool. That is helpful. That's true. That's a good idea.
Yeah, thank you.
And then Grifkin made a good point. Like, it's probably not your camera. It might just be like sometimes it's just how lighting is.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
like
I mean, it is later here, so
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it's also
It's a
yeah,
little bit darker, and then
yeah, yeah, yeah,
sometimes if you don't have a light like right over your head,
yeah,
it ends up making like weird
yeah, yeah.
shadows. And I actually have like two lamps around me too to help
You,
with
but you're the
lighting.
professional, so
Like,
you know how
I
to
don't know
set up
about that,
lighting.
but having done this for like over a year, like
Yeah,
lighting was a problem for me early on. It took me a long time
yeah,
to just
yeah,
make it where it was where I didn't hate it. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's probably just the lighting. Lighting is
Oh well,
just the
that is
thing
very
that's
sweet of you, and
tough.
thank you, Griff. Yeah, thank you. That's sweet of you. Yeah, exactly.
All right, next question. So along that same lines, when you were working on the book,
Yeah,
self-publishing it, you didn't have like a publisher calling you and breathing down your
yeah,
neck like you got to get it
yeah,
done by this time, but you
yeah,
wanted to get it done. So,
yeah.
were you somebody that set like daily or weekly goals, or were you just like, I'm gonna write every day?
I
Like, how did you
I
handle that to make sure you got done?
I go every day, and then it's just handing it over to the editor, but also working on the editor's schedule because the editors. they got a life, they've also got other work outside of mine, so it's just balancing that exactly. And I've got like the prequel book is with the editor, but I'm gonna pause on that because things happen. So at the moment, and so what I did with the thing I'm working on at the moment, I did some drawings of sort of like the antagonists, like the mythical things that. So just to know what I'm working with, because also I thought, well, the problem sometimes is like putting too much description and like. So if I can see it visually, I know like what elements to take or hope to, and then from there, and then now starting to write it. So yeah, but I definitely think every day, I mean, some days you're just not there, and
Right.
also something might have happened, like everyone's got a life, everyone's got a family, so and sometimes you're sick, or sometimes just something happens,
Oh
exactly.
yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
I definitely want this person every day, and I'm very lucky that I know a lot of people just aren't able. So I
Right.
think because I am, it's up, gotta seize the opportunity.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Now, were you pretty forgiving of yourself if like it was one of those days where you can only write a little bit versus
yeah.
a lot more, or were you like, oh, I didn't write that much today. I got to write twice as much tomorrow.
I have grown to come and try to be kind to myself. Sometimes it's hard.
Good.
Sometimes it's like in the beginning, it's like, oh, it's so frustrating, and the tears of frustration, exactly.
Oh
But
yeah.
now it's just like, it's not going to happen. And like for example, if I'm reading something like from history, and I thought, oh, that'd be fun. If it's not going to work, I've learned something from history, but I'm not going to open the chapter that I think would work because I'll just sort of be irritated and try to sort of fiddle with it and just be, and then waste so no like yeah. Sometimes you got to accept when an idea just doesn't work, but you've learned something. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you are writing, we talked about
Yeah.
how you're a creature of habit with some things. So are you someone that always wants to write? Like, do you always write on the same laptop? And do you like to
Oh
write in
yeah,
the
yeah.
same
My
room?
faithful laptop I got before
Okay.
me. Yeah. I do have notebooks, but what again, I'm dyslexic, but like sometimes scribbling something down or a drawing. But what I do is I almost like treat it like an exercise book where I write, and then if I finish, and then each time I finish it, I cross it out. Like sorry, like put a line through it when I've
Hmm.
put the information in. And then when both sides of the pages are like got all the notes in there all crossed out, then I just tear it out and put it in the recycling. So I don't think I probably
Oh
treat those
wow.
books in the way that other people do. It's like finish that, move on. Exactly.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh, so speaking of the dyslexia, how has
yeah.
that kind of affected your writing, and what have you had to do to kind of overcome that, especially if you're doing any self-editing or anything like that? I know you talked
I
about the program you have
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
use.
I used. Sorry, I'm sorry. Before you probably think, can I get to finish
No,
this
no, no.
conversation?
I don't think that at all. I actually do the same thing sometimes in interviews. So I appreciate the excitement.
I think it's also my ADHD where I'm like, I'm full of it. Yeah, but I use Dragon, which is a
Oh yeah.
dictating program. So I have a pair of headphones, and then I have a thing called CloudRead, which reads. And so, and as you said, with self-editing, reading, but I don't really fully trust myself to self-edit. So I think I know it is, but so don't mean to be pedantic, but I think it's more like going over, and so if I can catch a word, but then I hand it to my mother because I
Oh yeah, that's so
that's my
nice.
disability. So it's the same
Yeah.
thing like when we have like when I came up with the names, and it's like I had to get her to check it because you know for me it's like, oh, that meaning sounds good, and I it's very hard for me to sound out a
Oh
word.
yeah,
I
that's
have to
true.
hear it and
Right.
hear it.
Because you're listening
So
to everything that you read, so you can't
yeah,
like see
so
what it actually is. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So like when I was doing the alphabet, it was fun because syllables could sound them out, and
Mhm.
then looking up like the sort of proto-Slavic word and working out, from there to create a new word. But I do need her to come and check it, uh, because I just couldn't, because you get something completely impronounceable if I was left to it. Like it's like, and then you ask you like, the person, I don't know, I
Right.
haven't heard. I just it looks the meaning looks good. The meaning is good.
Right. Well, and I guess I mean I suppose I was gonna say since
Yeah,
it's fantasy, like if it was spelled a different way, like I mean
yeah,
it's a fantasy book, so you can kind of spell however you want. But if you're trying to keep it in like the Russian inspired
yeah.
folklore thing, you kind of want to spell it the right
Yeah.
way then. So
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I
um,
think I'm also taking advantage of people's kindness about like with the spelling. It's going to be where they're like, "This is ridiculous." We got things to do. We could be reading Brendan, and we're doing you a kindness, and this is getting ridiculous.
right.
Yeah, I mean
That's
those
fair.
Cosmos books are not going to read themselves. I mean, and I mean they're going to be. 'Cause isn't he got a TV? Aren't they making it into a TV series now or
I think,
films? Which is
Yep,
amazing.
yep.
Like, well done to him. He so deserves it. Like he's worked
Oh
so
yeah.
hard.
Well, yeah, and he's been, like, I give him kudos for. There's been
Oh yeah.
opportunities where they offered to do it, but he wanted complete control over it, and
Yeah,
they would say, "Oh no,
completely,
we're not going to do
definitely.
that." He's like, "All right, then
Yeah,
I'm not doing it
yeah.
yet." And
Oh,
he
so
waited and
respect that.
waited,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now, yeah,
exactly.
and
And
it's cool because they're doing the Mistborn, the
wow,
first Mistborn trilogy as movies, and then they're going to do
yeah,
Stormlight Archive as a show. So
that
he's
makes
got
sense because that's too
double
big.
going. Yeah.
Exactly. That is
Oh
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Well done
So
him. He
I'm
so deserves
excited.
it.
I got to get caught up though. I read
Yeah,
Mistborn, but I've only read the first Stormlight Archive
yeah,
book, so I got
yeah,
to catch up before that comes
yeah.
out. Luckily,
Exactly.
it's probably going to be a few years. But
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So we've all got time before we've all got time to read up on our Brendan.
yes,
Exactly.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
Grifkin said, "What's your home bookstore?" He wants to see if he can find a copy of your book when he's there in
Oh
September.
my God. Bless you. That is so sweet of you. It's not there. There was an independent bookstore which I did ask. The guy was very nice, but he just doesn't do that. But that's the thing. The best
Ah,
thing is you ask. But the thing is,
yeah,
he was
yeah.
sweet. He's
That's
glad,
all you can
that's
do.
I understand completely. And
Right.
things maybe being self-published, maybe it's difficult for him. Maybe also ordering from Amazon. Maybe he's got some issues. There's so much, but it was so sweet. That's just sometimes it's just nice just to get a reply exactly, even if it's
Oh
like
yeah.
a declining one. But that was
Yeah,
very sweet.
at least you know, and yeah,
Exactly,
and they were
exactly.
nice
So
about it. But I mean, I'm just surprised. Like this book, I would think anybody would be like, I want to put that front and center in a display with that cover.
I,
I mean,
I
come on.
think I mean that is so kind. I mean I'm so proud of it. It's like please, but I think because it's unfamiliar, I think
Mm.
people have been lovely about it, but also we have got this terrible war at the moment, so maybe people are feeling a bit
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't
exactly,
think about that. He probably thinks like, "Ooh,
exactly, and he doesn't know.
just to
Like
be
he needs to know
safe,
who
better not."
I
Yeah,
am exactly. Like because for
yeah,
example, there's a Russian composer who I really no not a composer, sorry, a conductor I really like, but I don't agree with his politics with Putin, and
right,
he's also said some horrible homophobic comments, so
right.
completely wrong. But I do admire his work. He did some like
Yeah,
fantastic pieces, and it is hard for people now because I
yeah,
think sometimes people forget that you can respect someone for work, but
yeah,
you still don't agree with that.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
this that's
yeah,
perfect. In this world, in the bookish world,
yeah,
that's something that I think a lot
yeah,
of people struggle with, and
yeah,
when you're on this side too,
yeah, completely.
talking about books, sometimes it's
Yeah,
like, oh, like you have books that you like, and then maybe the author turns out to be kind of a turd, but you're like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
still
yeah.
like the books, like I want to talk about them, but I don't want to
True.
piss people off. So
Yeah, exactly.
people need to be able to
Yeah,
separate the creator from the work. I agree with you,
exactly.
but it can be
And
hard. I mean, it's hard for
yeah,
some people. Yeah.
definitely. And I suppose the one thing is that the person isn't all bad because they're, the bits that you like did come from that person. So
Right.
even though there's
Right.
bits that are abhorrent, but
Right.
still, and we can find mutual ground on that. So I suppose it's
Yeah.
one of those things where, the old thing, what was it? You never talked about money, religion, or politics. So it's like you keep off things that are contentious unless people have agreed to talk about them and just focus on the stuff you love. Exactly. And I think that's sometimes all you can do. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Uh,
Like, sorry, you were
no, no.
saying.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, keep going
Like,
on what we were
I'm
talking
not
about. Yeah.
familiar with Dune. It's not that I don't have
Yeah.
respect. I just, haven't had the time. But what I've heard, Frank Howard did sound like a great human being, but
Right.
he still created a book that means so much to people. It's
Yeah.
inspired so
Yep.
many people.
Yep.
Like, isn't
Yep.
the guy who wrote Sun Eaters, isn't he like a massive fan and inspired Brendan Sanderson? So,
Right.
like, even though he might have done some pretty horrible things like rejecting
Right.
his own son for being gay, he still made a book that impacted people's lives hugely,
Hmm.
and that's got to be commemorated. And that was great. So I think it's just one of those things about just finding a sort of balance, exactly. Just
Hmm.
us all being adults about it. Just
Oh
thinking,
yeah. Yeah.
love that part,
100%. Yep.
but I will ignore the nonsense. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Yep. No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Let's see. Grifkin had said maybe Portobello will let you do a book signing or something. Have
Oh,
you?
that is sweet. Yeah. Oh
That would
yeah,
be
Jeff
pretty cool.
Portobello. Yeah. Yeah,
there are a lot of times here, like Barnes and Noble
yeah,
will a lot of times let indie authors go and do book signings, just set up a little table
yeah.
and sit there in the bookstore and or I've seen people even talk to like department stores like Walmart or Target or something like that, and they let them sit in there. So I mean, you just never know what
I
kind
know
of
it's
opportunities
true.
will
That
come
is
your way.
so kind and so generous. That's so lovely. Thank you, Griffin. Thank you. I think because I live in Edinburgh and I do live in a suburb area, but I can't really think directly of what's. It feels like mostly bookstores, book
Yeah,
chains of bookstores. So
now it's tough.
yeah, and
It's
it's different. And in fairness, like they've got with the distributors. So I've never spoken to someone who works for a chain, but I could understand if like they can't because it's like they've got a chain, like they've got a
oh
they've got
yeah,
a
they
marketing.
can't just make the decision. Yeah,
No, exactly, exactly, and it's hard, and also it is a gamble because it's one of those things like maybe the cover appeals, but you just don't know because the thing is someone can buy the book like the cover, but for something help they just maybe just don't have the time yet to read it, and sometimes with book sales at the moment it's like sales, so we need to know it now, now, now. Whereas
yeah,
like in the past we had a little bit more time just to think, right, someone's bought it, give them time, and everyone's so busy now, exactly. But
yeah,
but
yeah. Well,
I'm just yeah.
when you come to the US for that Chicago trip, you should make up some little like little cards that have the book
Yeah,
cover and like
exactly.
the
Oh,
link on it, and just kind of
I
leave
can.
them around places as you're walking around.
Yeah,
Just set them down on things.
I'll annoy everyone in the. We're going to go and see the museum, like the American Gothic. I'll annoy every single person there, like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
don't look at American Gothic. Look at this.
Check this out. We like pretty books, so it'll
Yeah,
be good.
thank
It'll be
you.
good.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. And then along the same lines, what we've been talking about,
yeah,
um, I always like to know when you're writing, are
yeah.
you somebody that likes it to be completely quiet, or do you like music or background noise, or does it not matter? What do you do
I,
when you're writing?
because I have headphones, can't have any music. Like music's
Oh,
like
yeah, that's true.
it's almost like I find like I listen to music like it's almost like a mental sort of like you're rinsing the head. Like when you
Yeah.
at the end of the day you're just having a moment,
Hmm.
exactly, just having quiet and just sort of contemplating. But I think, as you know, like with your family and working at home and with your dogs, one would love silence, but sometimes you just have to work around it. Like if the dog's barking, or like or like we had a bit of work done to the house, so it's just finding time. And they were so sweet. They're like, it's going to be quite. We had the floors done, and one of the chaps said it's going to be quite loud. And I wasn't really concentrated because I was sort of busy reading. I was like, no, it's going to be brilliant. And I probably thought, what on earth are you talking about? And then I was like, why don't you come and study in my study, because she had to go out to work. So it's like you build around. You do what you're passionate about. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
yeah,
true. There you go.
exactly. Yeah,
I like
yeah,
it. All right, very
yeah.
cool. Well, we're already over an hour. Can you believe it? I
Oh
told
my
you to
God,
go
I can
by
hardly
quick.
believe it. Poor you. You're probably wanting your supper or something. You're probably like, I'm
No,
starving.
no, I'm good. I usually go about an hour, between an hour and
Yeah,
an hour and a half or so.
yeah,
So this is
yeah.
perfect. But I told you it'd go quick. It always
I
does.
know it's flown by.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much for
This has
having
been so much
me.
fun, of course.
Yeah, it was
And
super.
yes, before I go into my ending spiel and all that stuff, I'll give you the floor one more time to just shout out your book or anything else you want to say before we go.
Yeah. Well, if you'd like some Russian fantasy, which is not depressing, it's uplifting. It's like yeah. Then how about this? And do love my Milang's cover. So like some nice Russian cover art. Some find out about this gentleman here and this beautiful bird. It's here, and got some illustrations of the characters, black and white illustrations. So if you'd like it, it's here. I appreciate you listening, and thank you all so much for coming. It was all so sweet. So thank you very much, and thank you so much for this opportunity. And thank you everyone who's listened and commented. You were all so sweet to me. So thank you again. It was like so incredibly generous. So thank you.
You are welcome. We are thankful to you that you were able to come on and do this, because
Yeah,
it has been a
thank
great
you.
time. And I tell everybody that comes on, this is called Beast Friends Forever for a reason. We are
Yeah,
now Beast Friends Forever. So if you
they
ever have a new
are.
book come out or need anything, want to
I
promote
must send you
anything,
a request via Goodreads, like a friends thing.
yeah,
I must
yeah,
send it to
yeah,
my
for
friends on
sure.
Goodreads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, you can. I would love to have you back on anytime to promote
Oh,
any new
thank
books
you.
or
Thank
anything
you.
else. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Thank you. It was a great time. So everybody in the chat, thank you guys as well. You guys were awesome
Yeah,
as
thank you
always.
so much for coming. Thank you. That was very sweet of you. Thank you.
Yeah, they were awesome. And then if you're
You're very
watching on replay, thank you as well. We also
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you so much. That was so
uh,
sweet of you.
it was. And then make sure that you check the description again so that you can go find the link to Olivia's book so you can snag your own beautiful copy of The Memories of the
Thank you.
Birds.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, have a fantastic day. And everyone else, have a
Yep.
fantastic day.
Have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you
Yes.
again.
I will
Bye.
see everybody in the next video. And until I do, as I always say, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see everybody.